I mean, I got nervous early doors, Paddy, when I seen Haaland bursting through 20 seconds into the game, Joe Gomez looking like he had concrete in his boots.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to get to Joe Gomez a lot more, but that was an early scare indeed. But yeah, Joe Gomez, I've completely lost trust and faith in him. And for me, he's our fifth choice centre back at the moment, in my honest opinion.
It's really nerve-wracking, Paddy, because he's just signed a new deal. Like, there's very few things I'm ever critical of Klopp about, but one of the things that I do speak vocally about is that I think he shows too much trust to people that haven't repaid that trust. And Gomez,
100%.
I don't think, has repaid that. Now, I'll never blame a fella for getting injured. That's not his fault. But I do blame the club for looking at the situation of a player who's had these horrible injuries and has also had more bad games now recently than good games. He's one good game against City, followed up by, in my opinion, stinkers.
Yeah. No, I think first of all, obviously the injuries haven't helped him, and that's probably what's ruined him. I think, given his age, the club probably see it as a bit of protecting the asset, protecting the values. The sell-on fee maybe. So I don't blame them completely, because he's not on silly money either, but he's not of the level required anymore. He's Calamity Joe is what he's now known as, isn't it? Which is a shame, because he was so good in the title winning season, but unfortunately the injuries have just caught up with him, which is just no harm on him. Like, it's not his fault, because his luck has been awful, but he's not at the level required. Now, as a backup right back, he's not the worst. He can be okay there, but his deliveries were awful against City as well when he moved there.
So my question to the chat and my question to Paddy is, do we need to go into the market for a centre-back? This is to you, Paddy, the second part. Do you have a similar thought process to me that he just lacks concentration, Joe Gomez, at times? He's ball watches and switches off.
Well, on the first point, I think in January we're all right for a centre-back. I don't think there's any mad rush to go out and get one then. But in the summer, I would like to see another centre-back come in view to being fourth choice. In view to being fourth choice initially, but with the talent to maybe even breach the main two. That's what we always have to do to keep things fresh. He is guilty of ball watching. He is guilty of losing concentration, but I think that's unforgivable. Like, I think that's unforgivable. And when you look at the injury he had, which was a patella injury, which, remember, Chris told us back a few weeks ago that is something that happens in NBA. And once you have that in NBA, it's a career ender, because you can't jump. So he's also physically deficient right now. So it's just not the play. We should not be persistent with him. But I think we're time enough until the summer to actually bring in a centre back.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And I probably should have phrased the question better, because I can see a couple of people who were saying not now, but in the summer. So that's my bad. Yeah, so most people, like Mick, saying yes. Who else we got? Daniel saying yes. Toira, absolutely. Hannah said 100%, but I know that we won't. Rahal said not now until the summer. On that, do you know what I've noticed? So when you get a corner, and again, I'm open to be corrected, because I may have only noticed this on a couple of occasions, but to my knowledge, he's the one that stays back on the halfway line, Joe Gomez. Now, normally you want your centre-backs up there, your Verges, your Matips, your Canades, doing damage in the opposition penalty area, using their physical attributes. But to the best of my recollection, Gomez is the one that sits back on the halfway line to defend.
But I think that ties into that injury he's suffering.
That's where I'm going with it. That's where I'm going with it.
So I literally, which is crazy, because I didn't realize how much of a detrimental injury that could be. But we literally have a defender who, we're in world-class football club. We should be challenging for everything, and we're starting one of our biggest games of the season, given the opposition, and the away from home with a deficiency. It just doesn't make any sense. I love Joe, and for the money we paid for him, which was all of 5 million, 7 million pounds back in the day in 2015, he's not good enough anymore. Not good enough whatsoever.
Darwin. We can't not talk about Darwin, Paddy. I mean, we've talked about Joe Gomez. We've covered one end of the pitch, us not playing well. So we'll give Darwin the assist, which was brilliant. And actually, Chamberlain was brilliant in that as well, with his ball up the line, Darwin's pace and his delivery, spot on. That was brilliant. But you're right, mate. You can't have those other three chances and not test the goalkeeper. It's unforgivable. If the keeper makes saves, anything can happen. It can come back into play. You might get a rebound yourself, but to drag them wide and just miss the target is just... It's hard to keep defending if he does stuff like that, because he's so many other great attributes. He's a battering ram. He's powerful. He's direct. He's pacey. If he can just brush up on those defining moments, those kind of split second things, he would be unstoppable.
Based on the game alone and analysing that, the finishing was absolutely abysmal. Again, especially that third one, I could not fathom how he didn't find the target. I actually tweeted after saying he should have used the outside of his right boot, and some guy replied saying, "It's not FIFA. You can the outside of the right boot is quite a useful skill." Ricardo Quaresma loved it, but yeah, he was very bad with the finishing. But I was thinking about this: if you were to ask anyone who had a better game, Haaland or Nunez, people would say Haaland automatically because he scored and didn't miss sitters. But apart from the goal, he wasn't really involved in the game.
And he missed the sitter at the start.
Which?
He missed the sitter in the first 20 seconds.
Oh, well, fair. Yeah, true. But with Nunez, at least he was involved. He got the assist and was very involved. So as cliche as it is, you'd rather him missing chances than not having any chances at all. And those will come. And his time at Benfica and anywhere else, he scores in gluts. He scores in clusters. And the little break didn't do him well, but he'll get back into the swing of things, and this little thing will stop. I just hate how fickle fans are and rival fans are. It's sad. One bad performance, which wasn't even a bad performance. It was bad finishing, not a bad performance. That's what I.
Yeah, I thought he ran the channels really well. I thought he had City's defense on toast a lot of the time with his run and his power. But you're right. Yeah, it's just the finishing, and that can be worked on. In fact, I know a fella. A young man by the name of Robert Fowler, who might be able to pop into Kirby and maybe give him a few notes, or maybe Mr. Rush. We've got plenty of people, Paddy, in and around the Liverpool family who can help him out with that part.
Or even give Luis Suarez a 6-month swan song, player coach. I can think of a lot worse people to mentor Darwin Nunez on footballing terms than Luis Suarez.
You know what, though? He is a mentally strong man. You can see it in him. You miss chances, but his head never drops. His head never, ever drops.
Yeah, I know, absolutely. And on the whole being strong and all the abuse he's getting, Sky Sports made a compilation of his misses, and I just found it insane because not a chance in hell would they make one on Raheem Sterling or Harry Kane, and there'll be the same set of people who'll be doing their mental health things, like berating a footballer for missing and calling him terrible is, do you know what I mean? Like, although they're rich, famous, it doesn't. They still have mental health to protect and keep in order. But I just find it disgusting how the big media are actually getting involved with it as well.
I've seen Thierry Henry, actually, the handball and cheating bastard that he is, calling out journalists and lazy media today. Using anything a pundit says as a way to have a little dig at a manager. So they take, if Henry's on, let's say, a French station and he's asked about Klopp or Ten Hag or whomever, they just take that as a lazy way to kind of, say, oh, this lad says that you're terrible or whatever. And he's right. It is lazy. I do agree with him on that, the handball and cheating bastard that he is.
He is an absolute handball and cheating bastard. You got that right. But no, he's spot on with that. The media in general are disgusting, really. Especially the English media, what they do. They will go to any lengths to kind of get a story or talk shit. They don't care. They don't care about people's welfare, or they don't care about being credible. They'll do whatever they do to sell or get clicks, and it's sickening, really.